I will say this. Pete, you a bitch ass nigga for stealing on there, for taking out Ariana Grande from Mac Miller. I will say that. I don't care if they was broken up before it. You're a bitch ass nigga. Oh, it's crazy that Drake and Kanye niggas became friends again. Niggas was like, you're on my side. He's like, I got you, gang. What a drag. Chat, let's talk about a white man who's been stealing good-looking women from successful men. The controversial rise of Pete Davidson. Patrick CC always has good videos, so we're automatically going to give it a like, and let's tune in.
Pete Davidson's father tragically died during the attacks on the World Trade Center in New York City, September 11th, 2001.
Well, damn. No wonder that nigga does comedy. No fucking wonder. Shit, I do comedy too. That shit depressing. Imagine your parent happily died the day of the terrorist attack. Shit. Turn the video up.
Pete was just 7 years old. His whole life was turned upside down and struggled to live a normal life after that. Comedy was his escape. At the ripe age of 28, he has accomplished more in 10 years than most will in their lifetimes. However,
that's a fact.
Many of you probably don't know Pete for his comedy. A lot of you have probably been wondering why this guy is even famous in the first place, and how it's possible that this lanky dude with horrible tattoos dated Ariana Grande, Kim Kardashian, and various other successful women. Today we are going to figure out...
Shit, I'll be trying to figure that out because I look at myself and I be like, damn, maybe I can do it. But then I remember, I can't do it. That shit crazy. I be like, damn, man, I can do it. I'm not gonna lie. Pete Davidson really be making me feel like I can pull the women that he can pull because like he look like that, I look like this, and I'm just like, huh, maybe I can do it. His tattoos look like he drew them with a Sharpie. That's a fact.
What exactly is the hype surrounding Pete Davidson? Why women love him, men hate him, and everyone else is wondering why they know his name but nothing else about him. Stay hydrated. This is Ladder 118, a fire truck crossing the Brooklyn Bridge towards the two burning towers, not knowing this will be their last run. 6 men were inside. One of them was Scott Davidson, a Staten Island native, father of 2 children, Casey and Peter. Ladder 118 was assigned to help the people stuck in the Marriott Hotel.
Oh, they did do a movie about, nigga, you know you look better than him. I mean, I do, but clearly I can't pull the women he pulled. That's insane. But anyways, he did star in a movie that was about a firefighter who was about a kid who lost his dad, who was a fighter fighter to a fire. So I'm guessing that movie was about his actual life. I didn't know that.
The hotel was a 22-story building located between the North Tower and the South Tower. The 6 men were helping people evacuate the hotel. While helping people evacuate, the men didn't think they were in immediate danger. There was no fire in the hotel, but it was still necessary to get guests and employees out of there in case the situation escalated. Debris was falling from the sky. Ladder 118 was helping handicapped people down the stairs, helping guests out of stuck elevators, and helping people who were stuck in their rooms. They saved over 900 guests before the Mayday call came in. As the towers came down, people ran in all directions. Scott Davidson and his 5 men didn't run. They guided people in the direction to escape. They knew what their fate would be, but chose to help others instead of themselves. They died as American heroes.
Hey, R.I.P. to Pete Dad, bro. You did a service to this country, and your son has prospered because of your sacrifice. I'm not gonna lie, I wish Pete had his dad in his life because his dad went out like a hero. And I'm pretty sure that did traumatize him as a kid. I see the humor that he does, and it is humor. The thing about making jokes and comedy in general, or even telling a lie, it's a bit of truth in them. And a lie and a joke, it's a bit of truth. And the comedy that he does a little dark humor mixed with like satire, mixed with a whole lot of shit. And I understand why now. His dad was an American hero who he lost in a tragedy at a young age. So, Pete, I'm sorry for your loss. You had a tough life. Yes, your dad was a hero, but you lost him. He was a better father than mine's ever could be. I will say that. But you're making him proud by doing what you are doing.
He was just 7 years old when he had to deal with the trauma.
And you
of
let
losing
yourself
his
down too
father.
fast,
As
I
sad
guess.
as it is, this is probably the reason behind his successful career. Kids didn't feel bad for him. They weaponized it against him.
And here's how shitty Staten Island kids are.
Yeah.
I still got picked on, like, the next day.
And they knew.
Yeah.
Did they pick on you with that?
No.
Oh,
But they were just still mean, just still like, fuck this kid.
By the time Pete was 9 years old, he was bald from ripping his hair out in pure anger, rage, and depression due to the loss of his father. As a result, he acted out in school a lot, talked back to teachers, and tried to make people laugh. He was a class clown, but not the one that people admired. He was laughed at. He was like the kid who thought he was funny, but everyone was hoping the teacher would kick him out of class. He didn't get invited to parties. He
Damn.
didn't get attention from girls, so he turned to stand-up comedy at age 16. Living in Staten Island, it didn't take much more than a quick train ride or a bus ride into the city with tons of comedy clubs and open mics. After just 2 months of doing comedy, he got a job opening for Bob Levy, who was a stand-up comedian also from Staten Island. He only had about 5 minutes worth of material and was already touring. However, the incredibly inexperienced teen was forced to do 30-minute sets, which helped him learn how to work a crowd. Crowd may be a bit of an overstatement. This tour was at local pizza shops, dive bars, bowling alleys, and 10-person clubs, not ballrooms. Regardless, the experience is almost impossible to get at such a young age. So Pete Davidson starting comedy changed his life. I bet all of you want to start something.
Hey, this is really a zero to hero story. I won't say hero. This is not my hero. This is not my goal. But this should show y'all can turn pain to passion, bro. Nigga turned his pain, him being picked on and bullied, and his death of his father, into a successful career. No matter what y'all go through, y'all can be great. Y'all still have time. The world ain't gonna stop, but it's always gonna keep going, and you always just need to push through whatever the fuck you're going through. Because at the end of the day, that experience is gonna shape you, and what it shapes you into is of your choice. You can make that pain turn you into a great man or a terrible man, into a great woman or a horrible woman. But just know that pain is gonna build character in you. And what character development you gain and what you use it for is up to you. Be like Pete Davidson. Get successful.
A hobby, career path, but don't know where to start. Luckily today, we have Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning.
No free ads.
Skillshare. Just go to Skillshare.com. Comedy was his escape. Unfortunately, at age 17, he was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, which is
Wisdom on God.
Disease that causes weight loss, extreme stomach pain, cramps, and is not curable. What seemed to be a never-ending list of trauma ultimately made Pete a pretty funny comic. People saw his potential. One of these people was Nick Cannon. Nick became Pete's manager of some sorts and got him opportunities to perform at clubs in front of larger, more engaged audiences. He moved to Brooklyn Heights, went to St. Francis College, but spent all of his time working on comedy. Very quickly, his agent got him a consistent TV role on MTV's Guy Code in late 2012. He decided to drop out of school and dedicate all of his time to the show to see if it will amount to anything. Guy Code Season 3 premiered January 15th of 2013. It was an MTV show where celebrities and comedians would tell stories about the unwritten code of conduct between straight men. Episode 3 would be Pete's television debut in a horrifying purple v-neck. Buddy is dressed for a Chris Angel live show. He was a regular on Guy Code for seasons 3 and 4. As cringe as the show is, it really helped the comedy scene a lot. Tons of now famous comedians got their first...
It's crazy. I've never seen this show before. I don't think I've ever seen Guy Code, but I'm guessing that this is what AMP was parodying when they was doing Bro Code.
Exposure through this show. He had a few other MTV appearances on Philosophy and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, as well as becoming a regular on Nick Cannon's Wild 'N Out for seasons 5 and 6. 2013 was a huge year for him considering he was only 19, fresh out of college, and on like 4 different TV shows. Constantly being surrounded by celebrities and comedians, Pete met Amy Schumer and they hit it off. Amy Schumer was absolutely exploding in her career at the time. She offered him a small role in her film Trainwreck that was in production. Bill Hader, co-star of Trainwreck and regular on Saturday Night Live, saw the potential of Pete. He put in the good word at SNL so Pete could audition for the show. Opportunities were just falling into Pete's lap. Being at the right place at the right time is an extreme understatement. It's like people were opening doors, picking him up, and carrying him through the door to his next opportunity.
That's a fact. Bro, I just met somebody the other day. He wants to start his own podcast, and he wants to do it around, first of all, he wants to do it around the women of the NBA, the women's NBA first season. Like, he wants to do his first season on the women's NBA. His next season though is going to be about the inner city kids who don't get enough recognition. Like, you have Bronny, who's a basketball star that gets recognition, but like DeJuan Wagner's son, he get recognition, but not on the level of Bronny. Even though I'm pretty sure, DJ, that nigga beat Bronny in a fucking one in the team versus team basketball match. Camden High whooped their ass. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but somebody who was also playing with the Camden, who was playing with Wani, that nigga trying to move to Camden, that nigga tapped in. He just met people who can tap him in with being an NBA referee. Hey, guess what? Dude was like, hey, bro, you cool peoples. Thank you for helping me, seeing my vision. Give me your number. We can tap in. We can tap in sometime. I'll get you on a podcast. You feel me? Bro, opportunities are out there. You just gotta be open to accept them, bro. Y'all can do anything y'all want in this world. The world is y'all oyster. Y'all just gotta be open. You gotta take that risk. You gotta take that step. You gotta take that flight.
He auditioned for Saturday Night Live without ever watching an episode. After his audition, he met with the writing team and told them he never watched the show. He said he only saw some clips on YouTube as a teenager. Then he met with the producer and co-creator of SNL and told him he never watched his show.
I got a call again to meet with the writers. They were like, might want to make you a writer.
Yeah.
And I never saw SNL before. I still to this point.
You still haven't watched it.
Now I like get into, now I know it, but I never
From the inside.
But before I got the show, I didn't know about it.
They still gave him the job. I can't figure out if Pete was just genuinely funny and people believed in him, people felt bad for him because of his father, or if he was a true hustler and is downplaying the work he put in. Most comedians...
I think he was a hustler. I'm not gonna lie. I think Pete was a hustler. Like, I don't think people felt bad for him. Yes, some people might have felt bad for him, but I think he was genuinely a hustler. He worked, he put in work. He gonna be blatantly honest. I ain't never seen a show a day in my life. Like, I don't watch fucking basketball. I don't be watching basketball. I keep being with the nigga, but I'm gonna hold a conversation with you. I'm gonna hustle to get to know the people who I want to know in this life, to get to where I want to be in this life. Even if I don't watch that shit, like, come on, bro. He was a hustler.
Struggled doing open mics for 10 years before being able to headline a club, get a TV role, or get a comedy special. I dare you to find a successful stand-up comedian as famous as Pete in their 20s. Saturday Night Live 40th season premiere. At age 20, Pete Davidson was the first SNL cast member to be born in the 1990s and one of the youngest cast members ever. Son of slain 9/11 firefighter makes SNL debut. This article was written and published to the New York Post that made front page news. Every interview, every piece of press, everything that had to do with Pete started with his dad's tragic story.
Justin said,
broadcast?
I'm the only 9/11 kid here. Nobody else in comedy could be the 9/11 boy.
Your father passed away on 9/11.
Right, yeah. So
And does everyone and people find that out, I guess.
Pete jokes about his father a lot, but didn't want his hard work to be overshadowed and downplayed because of his situation.
I mean, I'm in the background for 21 episodes, so I'm that guy that when there's a sketch, I come in and I'm like, anybody order pizza? And then
Pete was not the new star of SNL, but it was putting him in the pop culture zeitgeist. He was dating Carly Aquilino, who was the new star of MTV's Girl Code. She would be the first of Pete's long history of dating famous women.
Are you dating a black woman?
no.
No, he dates Carly Aquilino. I didn't know that. I'm not in the relationship. That's Angela Yee.
She yells at me like a black woman.
No.
What is that supposed to mean?
Oh, God.
Pete got into some...
Let a black man make that joke. It's up for them. Oh, you don't respect the queens enough.
hot water recently about his bad jokes stereotyping black women. This was in his first Breakfast Club interview in 2015. He has 3 Breakfast Club interviews. 2 of them have been deleted off the internet. His reaction, uh-oh, shows that he immediately knew the joke didn't land. People were angry at him, perpetuating a stereotype that black women are angry, intimidating, scary, etc. Those defending Pete say, he's a comedian. He's joking. Comedians will always be in controversy. Just because it's their job does not mean they can't be criticized. It's not like they get some magical immunity from criticism because they stand on a stage. We all have been in a situation where someone said something rude and you call them out and they say, "Come on, it was just a joke." Good comedians push the boundaries. Usually people who are reserved, respectable, and modest are not.
That's true. Niggas be making jokes all the time. But, bro, I mean, look, I'm not a comedian, so I can't say it, but some jokes aren't meant to be made, and then you have to know what type of people you're dealing with. Because now we have this cancel culture. Shit's not even real, but you feel me? They can't take a joke. Twitter became so sensitive nowadays, bro. Twitter used to be the wild, wild west. Now this shit's sensitive. Niggas get their feelings hurt over a little joke. Now, what I'm not saying that what Pete said wasn't wrong, but again, he is a comedian. His job was to push the boundaries. Like, he wasn't, you feel me? And he's young. Not trying to use that as an excuse either, but like, he's making mistakes because he's trying to see how far can his comedy hit. I can't be mad at it, but it's not like, you feel me? It's not like he was doing it to be ignorant to black women. He was like literally trying to make a joke. And I've been in his position, so I know like how that can be. Like, it get a little awkward. You try to make a joke, the joke don't hit with people, and now it's kind of awkward. You feel me? But it is what it is.
Not funny. The thing about Pete and a lot of other comedians is when they do an interview, podcast, or post a tweet, you don't know if they're in comedian mode or regular human mode. You see, Pete Davidson is a normal person just like you and me, but he is also a brand. He might speak from the heart about some real shit, then crack a joke in the middle of it. Because if he makes the listener laugh, he might get a new fan. So when a comedian gets in some hot water, you need to ask yourself, was this just a bad joke? Or is this person telling us how they really feel?
Type shit.
That'd be cool. Now you mentioned rehab a little while ago, and you confirmed that you went to rehab through a joke.
Right, yeah.
Is there anything that's off limits in comedy when it comes to stuff like that?
No, not at all. That's one of the beauties of comedy. It's like music too. You can just heal through pain and stuff. And
Do you prepare for backlash when you use potentially offensive material in your shit?
No, I don't. How do I put this? Like, I'm just very honest, so like I understand if you feel a certain type of way.
The Comedy Central roast of Justin Bieber, airing to 4.4 million viewers and millions of YouTube views later. This is where I saw Pete Davidson for the first time.
I remember this. This is actually funny as shit. I genuinely remember this. This shit was fucking hilarious. They cooked that nigga.
Dad on 9/11, and I always regretted growing up without a dad. Until I met your dad, Justin. Now I'm glad mine's dead.
He was easily the least famous person on that panel of A-list celebrities and comedians. People who dislike Pete look at him as an opportunist who tries to get around famous people. But being a comedy writer on Saturday Night Live means every week of your life you're surrounded by the most famous people in pop culture. To them, he was a normal young kid, relaxed, chill. They probably gravitated towards him and made them feel normal. He was friends with and affiliated with super famous people before the masses even knew about him. His first comedy special, SMD, released in 2016.
But my dad's initials are SMD. Yeah. That's why we named the special SMD. Yeah, my dad, if you don't know, he was a fireman. He died 9/11. He was a very good dude. And I have a lot of jokes about it. And if you don't like the first one, you probably won't like the rest.
He's broken, but coping with all through comedy. He was dating...
That is genuinely his case. He is a broken man who is turning his pain into a passion. Whole point of this, no matter what you go through, use it to fuel you to be greater. It may not bring the person back or reverse whatever happened to you, but just know that out of that situation, you became a better person, and now you're succeeding from it. And if this pain that turned passion is stemming from a dead relative or someone close to you who died, well, guess what? Now they're living on in your memory and what you do and what you create because you're doing it for them. Or if this is like a bad situation or you just come from rehab, that work that you put into getting better, that work that you put into healing, is now doing wonders for you. Remember that.
Cassie David, daughter of the legendary comedian and writer Larry David. In very Pete fashion, he didn't know much about Larry. He never watched Curb Your Enthusiasm or Seinfeld, but he developed a good relationship with the comedy icon by dating his daughter. This was his first high-profile relationship. The two related their struggles with anxiety, depression, and love for weed. He got a tattoo of her. In fact, he was getting a lot of bad tattoos. It seemed to be part of his personality. Pete's fame was leveling up to new heights. He was now a bigger part of SNL, getting more screen time, and becoming a go-to for the weekend update segment of the show.
Hello, Pete. Now, you and I are both from Staten Island.
Yes.
Here with his reaction to Kanye's speech is Pete Davidson.
Cassie broke up with Pete. She thought he would be in shambles because of his mental health. Turns out, he was the happiest he had ever been. She wanted him back, but he said no. He texted her finalizing the breakup. He publicly posted him covering up the tattoos that he had gotten dedicated to her. Cassie was confused. Did this whole relationship mean nothing? Well, turns out Pete had a new girlfriend just days after the breakup, Ariana Grande. Ariana is the most streamed female.
I will say this. Pete, you a bitch ass nigga for stealing on air, for taking out Ariana Grande from Mac Miller. I will say that. I don't care if they was broken up before it. You're a bitch ass nigga.
Female artist in history. She had 141 million Instagram followers in 2018. She was the biggest breakout artist of the past 5 years. After dating for a few weeks, they got engaged.
I think we could just get into it. Well, you got engaged to Ariana Grande?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, thank you. I did. No, look, I'm totally comfortable being with a successful woman. I think it's dope. I live at her place.
Ariana was coming fresh out of a relationship with Mac Miller. By no means was what we had perfect, but like fuck. He was the best person ever, and he didn't deserve the demons he had. I was the glue for such a long time, and I found myself becoming less and less sticky. Pieces just started to float away. Pete seems to have a similar appeal as Mac Miller. White boy with tattoos who appears to be a badass but is kind-hearted and broken on the inside. And
I just feel as though you should have never left that nigga. I miss Mac, man. And I know he shouldn't be relying on somebody to be healthy, but I miss Mac. This could have all been prevented.
man, did these two have the most middle school Tumblr love relationship ever. The day I met her, I was like, hey, I'll marry you tomorrow. I sent her a picture of engagement rings. I was like, do you like any of these? She was like, those are my favorite ones. And I was like, sick. The universe works in weird ways, he says. All I know is that I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I thought you into my life. You know what you dream it would be like? It's better than that. I am but a Pete Davidson update account. Stay tuned for more. They continued to post cringy love quotes that they searched on Pinterest to caption photos of them holding each other. These lovebirds were destined to last a whole 6 months, and that's about how long it lasted. To be fair, the tragic passing of Mac Miller is why they broke up, which I'm sure was traumatic for Ariana. However, her new single, Thank You Next, which was an anthem dedicated to her exes, broke the YouTube record for the most views in 24 hours at 51 million views, and landed her a cool 7 weeks at the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100. So I'm sure that helped her get over it. But
fuck you, Ariana.
It helped Pete's fame even more. He went from a C-list celebrity on SNL sometimes to a full-blown A-list celebrity and a new star of the show. He became too famous for social media. Death threats from unrealistically angry Ariana stans. He literally deleted all social media in 2018 after the breakup and basically has been offline since then. However, Ariana exposed him to the world for having something that was very desirable. I only mention this because Pete is famous for, and in this order, 1, dating Ariana, 2, dad dying in 9/11, and now 3, having a big... These 3 things would allow Pete to go on an absolute tirade of dating every...
That is insane. Is this all that has to leak? Let me text one of these females and tell them to... You feel me? Say no. Let me stop.
From Hollywood with millions of followers. Kate Beckinsale, who is 20 years older than him. Margaret Qualley, actress. Kaya Gerber, model. He was also getting a ton of work in the industry. Set It Up, What Men Want, Big Time Adolescence, The Dirt, The Angry Birds, The Jesus Roles. Pete couldn't stop getting girls, movie roles, and tattoos. But the lifestyle couldn't be sustained. He checked himself into rehab in the beginning of 2020.
You didn't know about this? I forgot about it. I do remember it now, but I forgot about it. Like, I genuinely forgot.
I cut my chest. That's why I started getting tats on my chest, is to like cover them.
How often do you still battle with depression?
That makes sense. That's understandable. A lot of people do try to get tattoos to cover up scars. You feel me? Why do you think Kim with him? That explains a lot.
I'm always depressed all the time.
You think you've ever hit?
That nigga really me for real. It's okay. It's okay, Pete. That's why this is what I do. I stream on Twitch. This is how I get rid of it. Not get rid of it, but this is how I subside it. Y'all get all my energy. Y'all are helping me. Y'all saving my life.
Rock bottom?
Oh yeah, I hit it all the time.
Pete is brutally honest. He acknowledges the fact that Ariana made him super famous. He knows that he looks funny and has bad tattoos. He is very transparent about his addiction, his disorders. As a man, especially at that level of fame, it's extremely hard to be that open about your life.
And we have to give that to him. Like, we can't take that away from him. He's a very honest person. There's a lot of people who hide their shit. Nigga Orlando Brown. This nigga hasn't come to terms with anything in his life. Like, nigga is back off the drugs. Like, I don't know, man. That's why I will commend Pete again, because nigga is honest. He is real. And I feel like me and Pete could be actually cool people. Like, tap me in with Pete Davidson. Me and him gonna make a skit together. Like, come on, bro. He's real. He gonna keep it a bean. I feel like if the nigga don't fuck with you, he gonna tell you, I don't like you, nigga. Well, not nigga, but he gonna be like, I don't like you. I can't fuck with you, gang. We're like, all right, cool, keep pushing.
People in Hollywood are putting up a front of who they really are. So when somebody like Pete is open and honest, it makes people love him or hate him even more. People think he's smug or sneaky, when chances are the people that are beloved, always smiling and happy, are usually the ones to beware of. He released his new special on Netflix and just kept the ball rolling. Everyone did their best throughout the pandemic. Pete had to promote his new movie, King of Staten Island, on Zoom interviews, telling
that was
his dad dying.
That was
basically
movie.
a biopic about Pete's life. So every interview, he had to relive all the tragic memories of his past, testing his sobriety. He remained strong. Rehab really changed his life. Now dating Bridgerton star Phoebe Dynevor and getting a role in Suicide Squad were among the highlights of 2021. He wanted to leave SNL.
Here's the thing, is like, I personally think I should be done with that show because they make fun of me on it.
But he decided to stay anyways. Speaking out may have worked in his favor, because after this interview, he was not just in the background anymore. He got plenty of skits written around him that would become some of his most popular work. Pete was now a few years removed from just being known for dating women.
Okay.
The main character on SNL, he's finally starting to be known for his comedy, his acting, and his own talents. But then another extremely famous woman came into his life, Kim Kardashian. Pete...
Pete, this is where I'm gonna strip away all your credit. Actually, no. Because, this is a weird situation. Because you're inserting yourself into, like, you can't look like no bitch, right? But then again, you're also inserting yourself into family drama from time to time. I don't know. It's a weird situation.
Is trying to date the most famous women on Instagram. My next prediction is Selena Gomez. Come back to this video when that happens. Anyways, Kim and Pete are dating, still to this day. And now the entire hip-hop community hates Pete Davidson. October 9th, 2021, Kim Kardashian hosted Saturday Night Live.
So, when I divorced him, you have to know it came down to just one thing. His personality.
After throwing shade at her ex-husband, Kanye West, she raised the bar and planted her lips on Pete's for a skit. They both liked it, After Kim's appearance, they started getting spotted in public together, holding hands and going on dates. Pete meeting his first girlfriend on Guy Code, then second girlfriend on SNL, and now third on SNL, indicates he may have a little strategy going here. Kanye was not happy with this. He was very public about the state of his marriage with Kim, stating that they were not divorced yet.
You know, they SNL making my wife say I divorced him on TV because they just wanted to get that bar off, and I ain't never even seen the papers. We not even divorced.
Kim wasn't letting him see his kids, and at Kim's
See, that's what I can't agree with, Kim. You're out of pocket for that. That's fucked up. Cause you're still bound. You're still married to this man. Like, that's fucked up. Like, you got this nigga look like a clown, and I can't co-sign that. But I can't knock Pete because first of all, he was doing his job, type shit, and then he sees an opportunity. Kim is the one who made him feel comfortable enough to be like, hey, let's go on some dates. You feel me? I'm feeling you. Like, that's so crazy.
PR team was working against Kanye to make him look like a bad father. Kanye wanted TikTok to remove his daughter's account because Kim was allowing her to post while being under the age of 13. He was adamant about bringing his family together and that he would do anything to repair the damage.
All I think about every day is how I get my family back together and how I heal the pain that I've caused. I take accountability for my actions.
But Kim is officially in a relationship with Pete, and he is even rocking a big ol' hickey on his neck. There was now a war. Kim and Pete are on vacations, going to the movies, making public appearances. Pete is spending time with Kanye's children, while Kim's security is preventing Kanye from seeing him.
That is fucking insane. This is fucking insane. This shit is not okay. And can we talk about how, Kim was Kim had it. She was transforming into a little black girl fucking with Kanye. You see how she getting a little whiter, hair real straight now. You feel me? It's not wavy. You feel me? This shit's crazy. It's the Kardashian curse, bro. Every black man that leaves a Kardashian be looking crazy at the end like he a villain. We gotta break that cycle. It's not okay.
Kids. This is also where the internet highlighted a controversial joke from Pete about kids.
My friend, his son is teething, right? And so like we were watching Forensic Files, and I was just sitting there, and he's teething, so he just like grabbed my hand and started like sucking my fingers, but like good. Like I definitely left it in there for a second.
You can call Kanye West crazy, but who in the hell would want these two creeps around their children? Starting with Pete Davidson, who is dating Kanye's wife Kim Kardashian, who has made jokes about wanting to sexually a baby. Fans can start to feel Kanye's helplessness. He just wants to repair his family, but Kim is doubling down. She's moving on. Kanye starts dating different models, each of them having a stark resemblance to Kim, making sure the world knows that he is moving on. But the fans knew he was having a meltdown. Whether it was justified or not, he was struggling. He gave Pete a new nickname, Skeet. Kanye won't even refer to Pete by his real name. Kanye won't even collaborate with his longtime friend Kid Cudi because he and Pete are friends. He posted a picture of a civil war.
This picture right here. This fucking picture right here, boy. This was a lovely picture. We got Future, Travis, I don't know who this bitch is, Drake. Yo, it's crazy that Drake and Kanye niggas became friends again. Niggas like, you're on my side. He's like, I got you, gang.
Or against Pete, where Drake of all people is on his side, and a picture of MGK feeding Pete in his underwear. Pete is trying to break up my marriage and destroy my family. That was the narrative he was pushing. Now hip-hop fans were riled up. The Kanye and Skeet beef was trending worldwide, and to no surprise they were on Ye's side. Pete's response was a private text to Kanye in which he posted, "I'd never get in the way of your children. It's a promise. How you guys go about raising your kids is your business and not mine. I do hope one day I can meet them and we can all be friends." Kanye told his fans if they see Skeet to scream at him at the top of their lungs and say Kim Ye forever. He was putting Pete in real danger.
You're creating a dangerous, scary environment, and someone will hurt Pete, and this will be all your fault. Well, thank you. These are dangerous people out here, and this is scary. And it doesn't have to be. I will always do everything to protect you and our family forever. I listen to you and told everyone to make sure nothing physical happens to
Kim
Steve.
begged him to
I
stop.
feel that.
He kept going. He released a song called Easy, where he said, "God saved me from that crash. just so I could beat Pete Davidson's ass, and depicted an animated version of himself decapitating Pete. Even Ye fans knew he was taking this too far. These are serious threats. Pete finally decided to stand up for himself.
I remember this shit. This is what, and Pete, I will say you're in the wrong for this. This is, you should never addressed it like this.
Texting Kanye to grow the fuck up, and posting a picture of him allegedly in bed with his wife. After long messages of him begging and pleading with Kanye to get help, but also leave them alone, the world is starting to realize Kanye is looking more like an insane and over-obsessive ex than a man being taken advantage of. Pete seemingly just got caught up in the middle. It could be his bad boy image, complemented by his extremely sensitive heart. It could be his humor. It could be his brutal honesty in a world full of Hollywood fakes. It could be his emotional damage that powerful women think they can repair. Or he could be merely just a pawn that Hollywood women use for their own personal gain to get their rocks off and get their name in the tabloids, only to toss him into the street when they're done with him. Sure, he's funny. Sure, he's a decent actor. Or maybe you don't think that. Maybe you think he isn't funny, and he has terrible jokes, and he's a terrible actor. But there's no doubt that Pete Davidson's fame and relevance has skyrocketed due to him dating extremely famous women. I mean, there aren't that many left to date. Selena, Taylor Swift, Oprah, the Queen of England. How many people are more famous than Kim and Ariana? Maybe you still think he's just an opportunist who will date anyone to stay relevant. But the reality of the situation is, most guys would do the exact same thing that Pete Davidson is doing if they had the opportunity to.
Nigga not lying. I'm here, don't worry. Love to hear it, Josh. Nigga not lying. If I had the opportunity to date one of them women, I would have. Fuck is you talking about? That was a great video, man. Great video.